So about a few weeks back, we saw a huge rally from the crypto markets, which came ultimately from an announcement made regarding an update to Ethereum's long-awaited merge upgrade, but there's a bit more to this story. Since Ethereum had hit its short-term bottom from back in June at around $900, we're now closing in on over a 100% return so far. Now, whether you're a hodler of Ethereum, you've been left holding the bag since the market's been going down, or you've been considering buying in because you've been seeing this crazy momentum over the past few weeks. So I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on why I believe Ethereum could possibly be one of the best investments to make during this bear market and recession for this year. So I think it's safe to say that this year has been pretty tough for the crypto markets, but let's not forget that everything is currently down in price too. This means we've seen most major stock indexes taking a tumble, as well as the bear market stretching through almost every corner imaginable for this year. Look, whoever said investing was easy was probably riding the highs off the inflated, stimulus-driven markets from the past few years, but let's be clear here. Investing is hard, and everyone right now is going through their first bear market, and that's completely okay if you happen to be losing money or you've already lost some. On top of that, recessions, which is something that we're going through right now that many people are facing, is not an easy struggle to go through. Now, the first thing I want to mention before even going into this video is that it's okay if you find it hard to invest during these times, but I do want to remind you how important the next few months are going to be. I personally believe once we're able to come out of this bear market and return back to a normal, healthy, growth-filled market, that we will never be able to see some of these prices of the assets right now return back to where they were. This means there is indeed a bit of scarcity with the time left in this market. And I do think if the bear market was very short-lived and right now maybe we're seeing the recovery, we may not get another chance ever again to be able to invest at the times that we've seen open up over the past few months. With that being said though, it's a good thing you're watching this video because there is still some time left and there is still a lot of volatility up ahead. The biggest key here is I want you guys to be prepared. And by the end of this video, I want you guys to have all the action, all the motivation, all the information that you need in order to make money and create some of that generational wealth. Now, first things first, going into Ethereum, at the time of filming this video, Ethereum is currently at $1,700 or up about 12%. I'm going to zoom out here a little bit though, and I'm going to put us to the all-time charts. Previously, when Ethereum was having its dip in the market, you'll notice that we were able to even see it right under $1,000 for a brief period of time. Now, keep in mind, Ethereum's all-time high during the bull market placed it at $4,600. So you'll definitely notice on your screen here, there's been a huge decline in its price. Now, traveling back, Ethereum has also had some pretty rough moments, but back in 2018, we've noticed that Ethereum also hit a high of over $1,300. Now, all charts tell a story, and here you have to ask yourself the question, since 2018, have we made any tremendous progress at all? I would say that during this entire time, and even through the highs of the bull market, when we saw prices return back to the all-time highs of what, 4 or 5 years ago, that right there is an opportunity of seeing an oversold moment of an asset, not because Ethereum was debunked to be a completely useless thing that no one is ever going to use, but because of current macroeconomic conditions that continue to influence some of these more speculative and newer markets. Since the past few years and the growth that we've experienced since Ethereum had its all-time high back in 2018, one thing that I would look at is really the downside potential or the risk of an asset in addition to the upside that we've seen. While many people are waiting for Ethereum to go under what, $500-$600, and yes, it's still possible for that to happen, I think at a certain point there's only so much further down an asset can go before there's a time where you realize you may only be able to lose what, an extra 20-30% on this asset, but long term you have an upside potential of over 200 to 300%. Over the past few years, one of Ethereum's biggest use case comes from its suite of DeFi products. Through DeFi, we've been able to see some efficient loans take place where even as examples of platforms like Aave and Maker were needed in order to borrow and lend money to some of these other larger institutions. Now, throughout this bear market, arguably, we've seen these DeFi products work even more efficiently through these times in comparison to where some of these other companies would get money from traditional banks and loans. Now, think about it like this. When Celsius, one of the exchanges that had its entire meltdown affecting the markets, the first lenders that they decided to repay was Aave and Maker, which were DeFi platforms based off Ethereum. Because the terms of these loans are already set through smart contracts, there was no negotiation or manipulation happening between these deals. The exchange had to pay for it, and it showed the effect effectiveness of what people fail to realize, which is that DeFi can ultimately be a good alternative. It could still be a safe haven for a lot of people to extend their money and to get borrowed money as well. Now, on the other end of that, we can definitely argue that the crypto space, especially within DeFi, has had its fair share of hacks, its meltdowns, and people losing money too. The system isn't perfect. We're in our early days, but I think we can agree that no financial institution, even in the traditional markets, have ever been perfect before either. I just want to bring more awareness on the fact that DeFi is still a large player within Ethereum. DeFi is continuing to grow. We saw its use case even happening amidst this bear market. And while the crypto markets have still gone down, we are able to see its potential of it standing up and even on some days outperforming the broader stock market index. My biggest lesson in the grand scheme of just being an investor within the crypto space is the fact that if the markets right now were able to survive Terra Luna's meltdown, massive sell-offs, huge market manipulations, some of these larger companies like Tesla announcing that they were selling off major portions of their balance sheets for some of the top assets like Bitcoin, I believe the next bull market that we have will be more than insane. And I think there's going to be a lot of money being made, but what you have to do is to prepare now. You have to make sure that you have your eggs placed in the right basket. So when that time does come, because we never know when it can happen. It can happen tomorrow. It can happen a week from now, but you will be prepared and you will know that you made the right decision a few months back before in the past. You'll be thanking yourself. So with that being said, let's focus back on the premise of this video and why I'm primarily looking at Ethereum over thousands of different altcoins listed within the markets and why I continue to choose Ethereum over even something like Bitcoin. So when it comes to crypto, I believe personally there's only two blue chips within the space. People will throw that term around, but I think it just sticks with Ethereum and Bitcoin. So here on your screen, I've pulled up the price action of both Ethereum and Bitcoin. Now, although these assets look very similar in nature, you'll notice that even the dips are very similar, but the upside has been tremendously way more powerful than what Bitcoin has done. Even as an example, on the random day that I'm filming this video at today, while Bitcoin is still up about 8% in the last 24 hours, we're still seeing Ethereum up about 12%. When it comes to the upside, I think it's clear, and the discrepancy even between the two market caps where Ethereum is still just half of what Bitcoin is, I do think if Ethereum has more utility, if Ethereum is able to continue to grow and continue making its updates, which we'll talk about in this video that they're doing, then there could definitely be a lot more value for your money if you decide you want to invest within the market and you want to stick with something more relatively safe. Now, diving a bit more deeper into Ethereum, it was actually reported that 2 days ago, Ethereum's shadow fork went into full effect. So earlier this week, the shadow fork that was practiced showed us a final testnet version called Gorilli, which is scheduled for August 11th. And this is going to be the third and final test before the merge is finally ready to execute. So the Ethereum merge, which is coming up in September, is a huge deal. The crypto community has been waiting for this to happen for many years now. And in this merge, we'll finally see Ethereum move over from the proof of work model over to the proof of stake model. Now, if you don't know, just the easiest way to explain the difference between the two, think of proof of work model to be like the old school labor intensive way of mining. You have maybe like a super buff guy. He's a veteran. He's more seasoned. He's old. He works slow, he's tedious, but he gets it done. He's the safer bet. But you can also think of proof of stake being this way. Instead of having one old seasoned veteran working the caves, mining the mine, you have a bunch of guys. You have a bunch of guys with brand new tech, brand new gadgets who get you the same outcome, but they're able to do it without breaking a sweat, and they're able to do it faster and more effectively. So this efficiency happening within the network and this upgrade that's about to take place has taken a lot of time. In order for you to move an entire proof of model method over into another one with the market cap that we have now, and many people still using Ethereum every single day, they've had to do it very slow and meticulously so they wouldn't crash or make any huge mistakes within the network. Even in the most recent report, we actually got word that according to the Ethereum Foundation, the proof of stake model will even bring Ethereum's network to be 99% more environmentally friendly. The environmental factor FUD has been a huge concern within the crypto market. Even with a benefit like this, which wasn't primarily intended for this to be the real use case behind Ethereum's upgrade, it's still a really good reason on why I believe this asset would grow. Now, it's not just that though, but another reason this asset may go parabolic this year is because of an effect known as a supply shock. There's a theory here that after the merge, Ethereum will have lower inflation than Bitcoin, especially especially with fee burns, and we could even see Ethereum's total supply reducing by over 90%. Now, only time will tell what may happen for this asset, but even in a most recent interview with the Bankless podcast, Vitalik Buterin, the co-founder of Ethereum, he said that Ethereum has not yet priced in the long-anticipated merge in both market and psychological terms, and that the market can also expect a 6 to 8 month waiting period before the actual price action would kick in under the right set of conditions. Right now, the expected merge is set to take place on September 19th as long as there's no delays. This means from the time this video is out, you'll still have over 6 weeks to make a decision on whether or not you believe Ethereum is worth investing into before it may complete this part of its transformation. Now, if you missed out on the massive dip that happened back in June and people who are up over 100%, the good news is there's still plenty of time left in order to be able to make these type of seeds that are getting planted for you to reap the benefits later on. Now, after the merge, we have a series of other events. We're going to have something called the surge, which is going to increase scalability and enable faster, cheaper transactions then, which is through a process called sharding. And if you guys have been involved within the crypto markets, you may have heard of sharding before, but other projects such as Polygon use this to operate way more efficiently within the network. After the surge, we have the verge, which refers to some additional technical upgrades that's going to allow users to become network validators. After the verge, we got the purge. Whoever thought of these names, I like it, I dig it. And the purge is going to be a phase that aims to remove the old network's history to ease the network's bottlenecks and further reduce the amount of hard drive space required for the validators. And then we have the splurge. So during the splurge, this is going to include the final tweaks and fine tuning of the previous steps that, according to Vitalik Buterin, is going to be the fun stuff that will make Ethereum into a much more powerful system. The whole point that you need to take away from this is that we are still very early in the developments happening within Ethereum. We have a time scale, we have a line, we have many upgrades still coming up. And right now, when we take a look at the potential downside or the risk of being in this bear market and then seeing this short-term rally that we've had over the past few weeks, I hope that this is enough to at least get your attention and to start considering some of the buys and bets that you can make on this scene. Now, guys, I do want to mention I am no financial advisor. There's always a possibility Ethereum goes down the drain and something doesn't work out. Who knows? Even though I think that is very unlikely, I just want to make it worth mentioning that Ethereum still has so much utility within the space. NFTs, I do think is going to come back. I think it's going to come back swinging. And when we do have more of these games, which are currently getting built, the play to earn stuff, that is going to need Ethereum. That is going to need DeFi products. And that is going to have a huge impact on what I believe the price of the crypto market will do next. Now, that's based on my research. Take it as you do. Take it with the 18 cents of inflation that you guys want right now. But just know opportunities are awaiting. And I do think this is an incredible time that we're going through right now. Even amidst all this bear market, recession stuff, we're still living in tremendous opportunity all around us. Now, if you guys made it till the end of this video, if you guys did enjoy today's episode, be sure to like this video, comment down below today's code word, which is going to be sponge. If you guys have not yet, follow me over on Twitter and Instagram. Be sure to shoot me a follow there, and hopefully I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.